Hello everybody, this is Bill McFadden, and in this video we're going to take a look at UltraSphere by Sample Logic. So they have their own engine. So we'll go ahead and add that here. And then the default preset comes out. Now the engine has 4 sources. There's source 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these sources consist of these different sounds. And here's the source browser. So you have sources from 0001 all the way down to 1520. So you have 1520 source sounds. So let's go ahead and hear the default sound. UltraSphere default. So that sounds like this. And these are the presets that you have access to, starting from the default, and then alphabetically we have artificial inhabitants all the way up to wonders of the world. So if I choose that one, then here's the So here are your 4 cores, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And by clicking on this, you can actually go in and see what's going on under the hood. There's the sample waveform. And I can solo it. So now we're just listening to core 1. And of course, I could go ahead and just sample core 2. Click on that and you see core 2. And they're all working together based on this really, it's like a mixer. So if I put on all 4 cores, I'm listening now primarily to core 1. Now I'm moving over to core 2. And then I can drag on this and move to core 4. Now we're at core 3. Now we can actually automate this movement. And there are actually different automations pre-programmed. So here's a square, and then I can hit this play button and it'll actually go through each of these positions. There would be a cross. And I can access them up here. Here's a star. So it's actually blending between the 4 different cores. And you can actually write your own core. So if I hit the record button, I'm generating a path, which you can probably see outlined, and then I can play that path. Now there are a lot of different presets, as we saw, and there's a lot of different sources. Now, if we go back to the main interface, we also have these mods which allow us to modulate various parameters in the individual cores. We have a sequencer and 2 ARPs and a chord option as well. Also, we have special effects. We have send effects and we have master effects. So the sends work on the individual 4 cores, and then the master would be the global effects. So you have a lot of ability to individualize your cores. Now, here's core 1. We see that this core is based on sphere 0176, which sounds like this. We can reverse the waveform here. So it's going from right to left. We can also increase the volume, decrease the volume. We have pan controls, pitch controls. We have sample start, and we can transpose it. And then we have gain envelope, and we have tremolo, which actually is not activated. That activates it. And we have depth control. You can actually hear it coming in a little bit now. We also have vibrato and unison, which actually gives you more voices. So here we can increase the number of voices and their spread. So there's a lot of sound design capabilities. In the master effects, we have EQ, tape delay, various effects like chorus, phaser, flanger, and so on, as well as compressor, tape delay, lo-fi saturation, and other effects. We have EQ, so we could actually EQ the individual core, and these all apply to each of the cores. If I go to core 2, I have the same array of effects that we can use here. Here's your sends, so you can modulate using up to 6 LFOs, and the LFOs, we go back to the main interface. There's your sends. And here's the LFOs. So they can be changed. Double click on that area, and then you can change the LFO to sine, triangle, saw, square, random, and custom. You can actually form your own LFO modulation just by moving around, double clicking to add a point, and so on, and right click and it goes away. So an amazing amount of control over the various sounds and effects that are applied to them. Let's take a look at a few more of the presets. Actually, if I go into here, I've chosen some favorites. So like here's centrifugal forces. And you can actually go to their tags. For example, the area presets have been tagged. And so we have these various presets here that are considered airy, have an ethereal sound to them. Here's another one. So in that case, these are the favorites I've chosen. These are the airy ones out of the favorites that I chose. So I actually have 2 activated. If I take airy off, I'm going back to my favorites. If I click on favorites, then I have all of the presets. And then if I want to, I could look at those presets that have panoramic motion. For example, here's retreat to base. Now, in addition to that, we have humanize effects. So here we have infinite round robin variations, and you can play around with these individually. Also, We have settings here where you can actually learn what controllers will affect the XY pad, so you can use a MIDI controller to control that. Also, up here we have the ability to randomize the presets or to randomize the actual sources. So suppose I want to just randomize the first core. Now notice the first core is sphere 1452. If I click on randomize it, notice it changed to 1380, but the other spheres stayed the same. So we have a lot of flexibility here. In addition to randomizing the sources, you can randomize the preset information. So for example, if I click on a patch, which consists of the 4 cores, then I can go ahead and just randomize the preset. So I can actually click on that and all the presets get randomized. So there's, for all practical intents and purposes, an infinite variety of sounds that could be generated. And let's take a look at a few more of the favorites that I looked at, that I chose. So I'll just do Star Abyss Synth. And you can remove a favorite just by clicking on that. There's Princess Bride. Orbiting Shadows. So that's just a quick overview of the UltraSphere. As you can tell, it can be very deep, and it gives you a lot of soundscapes that you can use in your compositions. You can, for example, add other instruments, add percussion, and then use your soundscapes as a base, and you can write melodies over them and so on in terms of writing cues. So pretty much this is a brief overview, my impression. So this is Bill McFadden signing off from tonepure.com.